Hello my learners, welcome back to my channel. I am Akriti, your science teacher, and today I am back with another interesting topic of your science. Yes, आज का topic is very interesting and very special for me. I love researching about this topic and I am sure you all will also love and enjoy learning interesting facts about today's topic. Yes. So to know what is there in today's class, make sure you watch this video till the end. But yes, before that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This will encourage me a lot more to make such videos. And you can also hit the bell button for the notification. So let's get started. So today's topic is Sun, Moon and Eclipses. Yes, what an interesting topic. I'm sure you all want to learn more about this. Yes, so let's begin. So first of all, let me ask you something, a riddle. First of all, we will be talking about a thing which is 4.6 billion years old. Yes, it is almost spherical in shape and it is big, huge, hot ball. Yes, what is it? Yes, it is sun. So very first we will talk about sun. So now, as I told you, it is 4.6 billion years old, it is almost spherical and it is actually a star which is very small, and the distance of sun from the earth is about 150 million kilometers away. Now, the sun, as you know, is very hot giant ball, and if you see at the very core or the center of the sun, it has a temperature of about 15 billion degrees Celsius. Yes, it's that hot there. So it is actually very big as compared to the earth, because you can actually fit so many, like billions of earth into a sun. But still it is a small star. It is actually called a dwarf star. That is because the other stars that you see shining in the sky, twinkling, are much bigger than the sun. Now, as I told you that at the very core of the sun, it's very hot. It's 15 billion degrees Celsius as compared to the surface. So the sun's surface is mostly made up of gases. It's mostly hydrogen gas. Like, to be precise, 70% of hydrogen, there is 28% of helium, and other 2% are other gases. So the hydrogen gas present in the sun is almost converted into helium, light energy and heat energy, which together combines to form solar energy. Yes, and that solar energy is our main source of energy that we get from the sun. So now, as you have also studied about the solar system and the planets moving around the sun being at the center, now many of you may not know that even sun rotates. Yes, it also rotates. It takes almost 27 days to make one complete rotation. Now we will be talking about moon. Yes, it is about 4,500 million years old. And it is grey, it is dusty because it has rocks on the surface. It is actually a natural satellite of the earth. Now you know that earth rotates around the sun and moon rotates around the earth and on its own axis as well. Yes. So it is also the only heavenly body where humans have landed. Yes, we have landed on the moon. So moon is actually at a distance of about 3,84,400 kilometers from the earth. Now let us compare moon and the sun. Now moon as compared to the sun is very tiny. Yes, but when you see it actually looks or appears the same. That is because the moon is actually our closest neighbor. It is closest as compared to the sun. Next being that you see at the night, moon shines. It appears to give a very natural, beautiful light, but it actually does not have lights of its own. Yes, it only reflects the light of the sun. Yes, so moon does not have its own light also. Now let us know about the surface of the moon. Now, surface of the moon is very dry, it's dusty, it's all rocks, it has craters, it has mountains, it has volcanoes. Yes. Now craters, what are craters? Craters are actually formed on the surface of the moon due to the collision of meteoroids. Yes, and there are many mountains on the surface of the moon. The highest mountain on the surface of the moon is the mountain which is Mount Lebanese, which is actually of the same size as the Mount Everest. So this is how the surface of the moon is. Now let us know about the conditions on the moon. How are the conditions there? Since I have told you that the surface of the moon is very dry, it's dusty, and there are many craters on the surface of the moon, that is because there is no air and no water on the surface of the moon, and because of there is no air, that means there is no atmosphere. Now, as atmosphere protects us from the harmful meteoroids, similarly, as there is no atmosphere on the surface of the moon, so there are many meteoroids that collide continuously at the surface of the moon, and hence it has not many craters. Also, it has no air, so no sound can actually travel at the surface of the moon. Because of which, whenever any astronaut travels on the surface of the moon, their space suits are actually made with the radio's waves so that they can actually talk using the radio signals. So this is how the condition of the moons are. And also there is very interesting fact about the conditions on the moon. The gravity on the moon is 1/6 as the gravity on the earth. What does that mean? That means that you can actually jump 6 times higher on the surface of the moon as compared to the earth. Also, you will weigh 1/6 of your current weight on earth on the moon. For example, if any person weighs 36 kilogram on the surface of the earth, that person will weigh 1/6, that means only 6 kilogram at the surface of the moon. How interesting and cool fact is this, isn't it? Since there is no atmosphere on the surface of the moon, so it's very hot during the day. It's almost 100 degrees Celsius during the day and gets very cool during the night, almost about minus 150 degrees Celsius on the surface of the moon. One small step for man, a giant leap for mankind. These are the words of Neil Armstrong, the Neil Armstrong. I'm sure you must have heard these words. These are the words spoken by Neil Armstrong when he landed for the very first time and made history on the moon. Yes, it is a long way indeed, but man has made history by landing on the moon. Yes, it is possible to land there, and the very first mission that was sent by America, the very first spacecraft was Apollo 11, which was sent from Kennedy Space Center Space Station from the Florida on July 16th, 1969, and it carried the rocket that carried that Apollo 11 was Saturn V. Now it carried 3 astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Aldrin and Collins. And the first person to put his feet on the moon was Neil Armstrong. Yes. And Neil Armstrong and Aldrin stayed there for almost 2.5 hours on the surface of the moon. They did their experiments. They collected the samples of the rocks on the surface of the moon, and then they returned back. And those experiments and samples are helping us to know our nearest neighbor in a much better way. So these kind of spacecrafts are being sent continuously by different countries on the surface of the moon to know more about the conditions and more about the surface. India has also sent few of actually the spacecrafts on the surface. First being the Chandrayaan-1, which was unmanned and was sent in 2008 from the ISRO in Andhra Pradesh in India. And currently also we have seen that the ISRO scientists have sent actually Chandrayaan-2, which was also unmanned and carried a lander which was Vikram. But unfortunately that Vikram lander could not stay there for longer and we could not get back the information much. So similarly, there are many other countries who are trying to send their spacecrafts on the surface of the moon, be it manned, that means it carries astronauts, be it unmanned, that is in the way of artificial satellites. So students, now we have studied about the people, those who have landed on moon. So the people who land on moon or in the space even, those people are trained and are called astronauts. So yes, they are astronauts and they wear special kind of suit, a dress which is space suit. That dress has radio sets attached to them. That is why, because we don't have atmosphere on the surface of the moon, so that is why those space suits have radio sets to change the message using radio waves. So this is how people are sent on a mission for experiments to know more about other planets and moon, Mars, on the space, and astronauts go there, they are trained, they use wear space suits, and rockets are used to actually send them on the surface of the moon or on the space, in the space. So those rockets have a special purpose for sending them, and after that they are of no use. Now, as I have told you that there are many countries who are sending unmanned satellites as well, which do not contain any astronauts. So those kind of satellites are called artificial satellite. Now, first ever satellite, that artificial satellite that was sent in space was Sputnik 1. India has also sent its satellites. For example, the first satellite sent by the India was Aryabhat, and after that we have sent many satellites on the surface in the space that actually orbits around the earth and give us a lot of information. Now, artificial satellites can be used for weather forecasting, for navigation, for communication, for scientific research, and for so many other purposes. So students, now for the last topic we will discuss different phases of the moon. Now, what is the phases? Now, whenever you see up in the sky at night, you do not see the same shape of the moon every time. Sometimes you see very small shape like a banana, sometimes you see half moon, sometimes you also see full moon. So these are the phases of the moon. Now, as I have told you that moon rotates around the orbits around the earth in every 27.3 days. It also moves on its own axis. Now, whenever moon rotates or orbits around the earth, now as we have discussed that moon does not have its own light, so it actually reflects the sunlight, falls on it through the sun. So how much light and on what part light is obtained or on the surface of the moon, that light can be reflected and we are able to see it, only the illuminated part of the moon. So that is how we can see different phases. Now, first being whenever the very small portion of the moon which it actually faces the earth, but we are not able to see most of the part of the moon because that part is not receiving the rays or the light from the sun. So that phase of the moon will be called new moon. That moon is new moon. Then we have crescent moon. Now what happens in crescent moon? In crescent moon, the most part, the very less part, very less portion of the moon is exposed to the sun rays, and in that way we get a shape of a crescent moon. Next is whenever half part of the moon is illuminated by the sun rays, that moon is called half moon, and we are able to see only the half part of the moon. And next being when most part of the moon faces the sunlight and we can see that light, the illuminated part, that the most part, that is called gibbous moon. And then whole of the moon illuminates due to the sunlight, that condition or that phase is called full moon. And this cycle gets repeated after every 29.5 days. And the second moon in the cycle is called the blue moon. Although it does not have any color, the second moon in the cycle, the second full moon will be called blue moon. So this is how we can see the phases of the moon are. So this is about the first part of your lesson, sun, moon and eclipses, where we have studied about sun, we have also studied about moon, and not many interesting facts about moon and the sun. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Like the video, you can share it, you can comment me if you know any other interesting fact about sun and moon. So make sure to watch the video till the end. We will meet for the next part. Till then, take care.